Also on the back part of the racetrack, paying close attention, out of Raveneva, Michigan, racing for Stud Boy, Arctic Cat, and Fly Racing. He is on the number 98 Arctic Cat. He's in 7th place, your number 7 qualifier, his name, Nick Patton. The number 6 qualifier comes from Aurora, Minnesota via Vermont. He is currently 2nd in points, racing for Amsoil, the U.S. Air Force Skidoo, Climb, and Milwaukee Tools. His teammate just won the Pro Light class. He's on the number 13 Skidoo. His name is Lincoln Lemieux. Your 5th place driver, new this week to racing with Henches Racing. He's on the number 31 Polaris. He is from Sweden, racing for Polaris, Monster Energy, FXR, and Pertec. On the number 31 Polaris, Emil Haar.
Taking Cody Cam's ride because he got hurt again.
Your number 4 qualifier is out of Deer River, Minnesota. Racing for Warner Racing, sponsored by Makita, Rockstar, Skidoo, also sponsored by GMC Trucks. On the number 221 Skidoo, he's your number 4 qualifier, making his way to the front straight, Daniel Benham. The number 3 qualifier is racing for Boss Racing. He is from Finland, racing for Jimmy John's Skidoo. Also racing for XPS Oils on the number 128 Skidoo. Your 3rd qualifier, Aki Palaya. Your number 2 qualifier, another racer making his way across the pond this year. Out of Stockholm, Sweden, racing for Henches Racing, sponsored by Polaris, FXR, Monster Energy, and Pertec. He is on the number 40 Polaris. Give it up for your number 2 qualifier in front of the grandstand. His name, Oscar Norm. Your number 1 qualifier, currently 1st place in points, and your defending pro champion. He comes from Oppdal, Norway, sponsored by Skidoo, Jimmy John's, XPS, FXR, Stud Boy, and C&A Pro Skis, racing with Boss Racing. Your number 1 qualifier, the 200 Skidoo, Elias Ischel. 13 drivers, 26 laps. Wow, that's going to be a great final.
And let's get a pre-race update now from Haley.
I want to talk to you about our number 1 seed, Elias Ischel. I caught up with him earlier, and I wanted to know what his mindset is as we approach the halfway point of the season. He said, I don't really have anything for you. It's race by race, day by day, and lap by lap. His game plan for today is he just wants to meet his marks, and he's going to put this thing together lap by lap. And if I know Elias, I know that he is going to have you on your toes, and he's going to lay it all on the line for you tonight.
And there's a whole host up there in the Makita Power Tower.
Scott Judnick, and of course, look at that. That's the who's who right there. DJ Eckery from Christian Brothers. Timmy Bender, Nate Henches, man, Steve Shearing, and buried in there somewhere is Mr. Coral from Boss Racing. That's the Makita Tower. That's what it's for. Hi there. How are you?
There's a big smile.
Give me a big thumbs up. There you go. That deserves a circle right there.
Yeah.
Hi, how are you doing?
I like that. I like your hat.
FXR, baby. Here's a GoPro lap of the day. This is what these drivers are going to see here in just a couple of moments. This is Elias Ischel. You seen him take a roost right there off the start. They go through the back part of the racetrack, and you see how that ram area transitions down into this corner. Now, there's two lines that have been developed before they go into Sunoco Fuel Corner. Then it's the U.S. Air Force Flyaway. It only takes them about 23 seconds to get around this track. There's the Amsoil finish line. They come back down two lines in 1 and 2. Back down the backstretch again. My friend, that's a GoPro lap of the day.
Mike, we have tracks that have elevation changes. We have longer tracks. This is the tightest and shortest track that we have in all of Amsoil Championship Snocross powered by Rayon, but it's also the longest race in terms of laps that we have in the entire season.
You know, and I'll tell you what, if you're a NASCAR fan, you've got to compare this racetrack and this race to Bristol. I mean, Bristol, a very tight, they call it the paperclip. That's exactly what this racetrack, if you had an airplane up or a drone, that's exactly what this would look like. It would look like a paperclip. The thing is that it has got a bunch of undulations in it. And I think hole shots are going to be important, but there again, we've seen it happen with Hunter Patnode. Hunter Patnode ran into lap traffic. He had one little miscalculation. He landed wrong, it hit him hard, took him off, but he had enough lead that he was able to hold on for the win. Again, you've got 13 sleds out here, 26 laps. Man, this is going to be a classic.
And we got a great crowd on hand here tonight at the Days of 76 Event Center here in Deadwood, South Dakota. Big thanks, of course, to all of the folks that helped make this event possible here in Deadwood. That's why we love coming here each and every year.
I thought that one girl was sleeping for a second until she seen herself on TV. Yeah, I'm on TV. Yeah. Just like there's people in Norway, Sweden, and Finland probably watching you girls right now. Let's see how they line up. Now remember, this is inverted order. So your number one qualifier, who is Elias Ischel, has the last choice in the front row. And I'll tell you what, is that him right in the middle? I kind of wonder if this isn't him right here. And his teammate is right there. So there you've got the two Boss Racing sleds right in the middle.
All right, quick weather report here. Gary's Groomer report brought to you by Pertec. Air temperature at 35, humidity a little higher at 70%, low almost no snow dust, but a lot of wet, heavy roost tonight.
You know, you talk about that humidity. I talked to some of the team owners and team managers and mechanics. The air is heavy. That makes it different for these sleds. You know, they had to do a lot of tuning, maybe some jetting, changing some tips and some EFIs and that. Big deal.
All right, so we're pulling the cord back, which means the sleds are on the button. And in just a couple of moments, we're going to go under starters' orders for a battle Old West style here in Deadwood as we get ready for the U.S. Air Force Snocross National Pro Final. And we are about to go under starters' orders. It's time to go racing here in Deadwood. Cycle one more time there.
Now a little creeping down in the far end, and that was right in here. I wonder if that's not Jacob Urich that just creeped ahead just a little bit. They're going to reset him and get going here again.
Yeah, both Logan Christian and Oscar Norm took an opportunity to reset as well over on the left side of the screen. All right, so everybody will get on the button and get ready to go one more time. The shootout is on here in Deadwood as they come charging down the straightaway on the inside. Lincoln Lemieux on the outside. Logan Christian battle for that stubway hole shot.
You got to remember that Logan was on the podium here last year as he goes outside. Look at him take a run on Lincoln Lemieux.
And here comes Elias Ischel to the outside. Be wide almost as they come across the Amsoil finish line. Christian dives for the bottom. He'll lead the pack coming off the FXR turn.
Logie had position going in there, able to work his way through. So out front he goes, and the chase is on, like you said. Ischel and Lincoln Lemieux chasing the 43-yard cat of Logan Christian.
And Elias Ischel tries to power up alongside Christian, barges ahead of him on the U.S. Air Force flyway. They almost made contact at the end. They split the lanes on the FXR turn. Ischel will grab the lead now.
Yeah, Ischel showed that inside maybe just a little bit faster than what the outside was. That made Logie slow down. He's sitting in second, but now he's got to play catch-up and try to catch the Norwegian driver from Moss Racing.
And at the same time, he's got to contend with Lincoln Lemieux just a couple of slip links back on that Ching Speed Sport Amsoil U.S. Air Force Skidoo sled. And they are really trying to throw the power down here to catch up to Elias as he jets away here by a few slip links as they hit over the Ram Triple.
Lincoln Lemieux patiently trying to see what Logan Christian's going to do. Both these guys good racers. I mean, you know what? They're going to race competitively, but I don't see them being real aggressive with each other. Lincoln's going to wait till he's got a great opportunity to try to make a move. There you see them both go inside. And, you know, interesting, Oscar Normanforth even went shallower than these guys trying to make up some ground.
Yeah, how low can you go? It's like a limbo contest over there in that FXR turn. As second, third, fourth start to accordion up here. Ischel out by about a second and a half at the front of the field here in the early portion of this pro final here in Deadwood.
And you know, we seen Patno do that in the Pro Light final. Was able to make a lead. God, he had about, what, 10, 12 seconds, and he needed all of that after coming off. So, you know, Elias is going to keep working on trying to extend that lead before he gets into lap traffic.
North bounce to the outside there as your leader, Elias Ischel, continues to roll. Outside in here. He doesn't go as far tight to the inside. It looks like there's a different line that's starting to form
It's
there.
almost like three different lines in that corner, but now he comes down into 3 and 4, staying shallow, makes his way through. Logan got a good run through that corner, maybe put a little more distance between he and third place runner Lincoln Lemieux.
Check the interval this time as they cross the Amsoil finish line. Not that much difference.
Yeah, about 0.3 of a second he put on Lincoln, so you could tell that Logan a little faster in that corner.
Yeah, but not much difference between first and second. Meaning the Ischel's not getting away from Logan.
Yes,
so.
that is correct. I was talking about the differential between second and third between Logan and Lincoln.
Yeah, the gap is now about 2 seconds back from Lincoln to Oscar North, who's sitting at 4. Jacob Yurick in the pit spot right now as we continue to watch Logan Christian chasing after race leader Elias Ischel.
Talked to Logan earlier today. I mean, he is so good-natured. He's got a little sense of dry humor. How's it going? Well, I'd like to do better than I didn't do it. And he kind of smiles at you. You know, like I said, he was on the podium here last year. He had a good run. Likes a short, small track. It kind of reminds me of the track that they build their test track up in Fertile. Looking strong right now.
So not yet to the halfway point here in this epic length pro final here at Deadwood, going 26 here tonight. Elias Ischel working his way back through the U.S. Air Force flyway. And he's on a good quick line there on the outside of that flyway that really works for him.
We talked about the differential between Elias rather I should say, and Logan. It's still about 2 seconds. This is a good battle right here. This is Lincoln Lemieux and Oscar Norm. Now, Lincoln's only got about 0.6 of a second on the Polaris driver out of Henches Racing, the Swedish driver. So Lincoln's sitting now vulnerable where he could lose a podium spot here.
Yeah, you could look just up ahead of Lincoln where you could see Logan Christian continuing to run in second. And Oscar falls back just a little bit there. He had closed the gap, but now Lincoln cut a hot lap there and a good trip over that Ram Triple as they come back into the U.S. Air Force flyway.
That was a new line that Oscar tried there. You were in the Henches trailer with me when we talked to Tim Bender. Said to Bender what they got in him, and he looked up the side and he goes, "It's fast." So we'll keep an eye on Oscar Norm to see how he can do here.
Ooh.
Whoa!
Oh.
Did you save that?
That's a bucket Bronco right there, man.
I'll tell you what, he had that thing so sideways that when it hooked on, it took all of his strength to hold on.
Well, we saw one of the qualifiers earlier tonight where he was able to hang on when he literally got side slammed by Jacob Yurick in the corner. Elias Ischel maintains the advantage here in the front.
Look at this. It's
Logan's
still
catching him.
only a second and a half. He's not able to run away from Logan Christian. And if anything, look at Logan. Logan has put second and a half more between him and Lincoln Lemieux. So Logan's sitting with about a 2.5 second lead for that at second place, but yet still trying to make up some ground and grab Elias Ischel.
And how fast are these guys? They're about to put a lap on Aki Palaya.
Oh, we got some sleds tied up down in the corner. That's where that yellow is.
Yeah.
Is that where that yellow is? And one of them is...
yeah, Tamo Har is one of them. And another rider involved in the incident there. It's on the opposite end of the track from where your leader Ischel is right now. He's over on the other side coming off the FXR turn, ducking through some of the rooster as he works through the lappers. This is where you'll see he has to slow it down, keep it on the snow. Oh, that's Benham. Is that Benham over there? No, that's Jake Bjerk's over there. We just got
I was
word.
going to say that Uric was over. And you see everybody. This is a bad spot.
I see a red flag waving here.
Oh, and they're going to stop it.
Yeah.
They're going to stop it. I mean, they had this corner so tied up. And I told you that earlier today when we were looking at this racetrack, that if something happens in 2 and 3, it usually is not just one driver. It's at least 2, sometimes 3 or 4 drivers. So here's the deal. Red flag. How did they start again? Well, they're going to line up in the order that they were running. And they line up sled behind sled behind sled. So what does this do? Well, the almost 2-second lead that Elias had over Logan Christian, gone. The lead that Logan Christian had over third place Lincoln Lemieux, about 1.5 seconds, gone. It's a new race. Now you got to hope for a good hole shot. If you're further back, you're going to eat a lot of roost right away. But you want to get out front early and get running again. So, Elias Ischel is your leader. He will line up first. Logan Christian, Lincoln Lemieux in third. Oscar Norm, Daniel Benham in fifth. Then Kyle Pauline, Trent Whitwer, Nick Patton, Aki Palaya, Travis Muller. Those are your top 10.
All right, so we'll come back after an odd situation here. It's not often we see a restart in snowcross competition, but you're about to see one when we come back with more Amsoil Championship Snowcross powered by Ram on the CBS Sports Network.
Let's reset what happened. We had an incident down in turns 3 and 4 that involved from Zanstra Motorsport Sports Jacob Bjerk and Emil Haar. Jacob sustained an injury, but we want to again thank the FXR Mobile Medical crew. Jacob couldn't be in any better care. Dr. Ken Parsons was down there. Dr. Ken is a level 3 trauma center doctor, and he's in great care. So now we get ready for a start, and it's single file, and it's going to be interesting.
So let's get a quick update from Haley trackside before we get back underway.
Thanks, guys. Mikey, I'm glad you mentioned FXR Mobile Medical. When something happens on track, they are right there immediately on the scene. I don't have much of an update for you on Jacob Bjerk. It appeared he did get landed on, but the good news is that he is communicating with officials in FXR Mobile Medical, and that's a good sign. But they're going to take him away for some further examination. But join me in giving a heartfelt thank you and round of applause for Jacob Bjerk, and as well as FXR Mobile Medical for being there on the scene when Jake needed the most.
Welcome back to Amsoil Championship Snowcross powered by Ram here on the CBS Sports Network. An unusual situation here, Mike. We had the red flag because Jacob Bjerk was down on the racetrack. He's been being tended to by the FXR Mobile Medical team. So, Mike, what's the procedure for a restart?
And the good thing is you heard some applause there. I'm sure that, like we said, he's in great hands. So here's what happened. This has happened here before in a tight racetrack. Things like this happen when there's a bad accident or injury. They now will go back to the way that they were the last lap of racing. And they will line up single file, you know, the front to back, front to back, front to back. And I mean, they're in single file. So, I mean, Elias Ischel is out in front. Logan Christian will line up behind him. Then Lincoln Lemieux, Oscar Norm, Daniel Benham, Kyle Pauline in sixth. Then Whitwer, Nick Patton, Aki Palaya, Travis Muller, and I believe that Emil Haar was able to continue, so he'll probably line up at the back of this field. But single file, like I said, all of the leads that you had, like that almost 2-second lead that Elias Ischel had over Logan Christian, is gone. It's almost like a new race here. So again, you put yourself in a new mindset. You know you got to have a good start. There's going to be a lot of roost for these drivers that are deep in the field here. It's going to be interesting to see this restart.
And we have a 15 of 26 laps complete, so that means that we still have 11 laps left to run. Might be time for some people to move up in advanced positions here.
Oh, there's no doubt. I mean, we've seen some great racing, and if anything, because of the fact there's only 11 laps, this field's pretty stout. They've been running pretty hard. I'm not sure if Elias will end up getting into lap traffic or not. In Pro Light, we ran 12 laps, and Hunter did. He may very well hit a few lappers, but again, you try to get out front. You try to get that lead so that if you do get into lappers, you got a little buffer, you got a little comfort zone so that those guys that are second, third, and fourth that are charging and dicing between themselves and trying to catch you, they got to work extra hard to catch you. So it's going to be interesting with the 11 laps left to go how this race transpires.
Mike, let's talk for a minute about not only the effect that a race stoppage like this has on the sleds, but on the riders.
It does. I mean, these guys are all professionals. They've been around before. They've seen, incidents on the racetrack and that. You just got to put it in the back of your mind. They know that the sport that they're in is, it's dangerous. There's no doubt. You're not sitting in a car with a roll cage so that if you get hit or you get rolled over or anything like that, you're belted in and you're protected. Here you're out in the elements. You're riding your race vehicle, and you're one with the race vehicle, and the only thing that's holding you on that is your physical strength and your legs and your arms. So they know that. You put it in the back of your mind. You know that you got a job to do. These guys are hired to be racers, and they're out to perform, and that's what they'll do. I mean, they'll put it behind them. There you see LT. LT, one of our lead flaggers out there, he has been around forever. He's been around as long, if not longer, than I have. And LT, we're just hearing 26 seasons he's watched this. He's seen accidents. LT is the flagger that basically stands in the middle. He is your lead flagger, tries to keep an eye on the entire track. That's difficult here, and calls when there's accidents, and was the first person to throw the red flag there after communicating with our race directors. So to LT and the rest of the guys that work out on this racetrack, it's a dangerous racetrack to work on because there's no place to run and hide. We've seen sleds that have been in the infield so far today on the outside of the racetrack and everything. So again, to these ISOC flaggers that are out there, kudos, be safe, and you know what, they're doing a great job. And it's not advised. Well, we want to thank these people because they seen that there was an injury there. If you notice the number of people that came off of turns 3 and 4 here, just to point the people inside, because we didn't know that Jacob was laying down there, and they were pointing everybody to go inside. So now you see how they're lined up. There you see your number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sleds. We're saying firing them up. You want to talk about racing? Now you're gonna see some exciting starts. Here we go.
And we are back underway here at the U.S. Air Force Snocross National in Deadwood. Here comes Logie Christian as they sail over the ramp triple, trying to get by race leader Elias Ischel.
That's what Logie had hoped for. Logie hoped for a good hole shot. And if you remember where Logie got passed in that first start, it was on the outside. He went out, Elias stayed inside, and now look at Logan. Oh, Logan almost making a move there, and Elias going out, and now they leave some room, and that allows Oscar Norm to move around, Logan Christian.
Yeah, Norm came outside in and is able to now battle Elias Ischel for the lead. He tried the outside lane off the Sunoco corner, and now he will charge his way down over the Amsoil finish line in hot pursuit is Christian as they chase race leader Elias Ischel.
Yeah, so your top 3 are Ischel, Norm, and Christian. Daniel Benham just about 8/9 of a second behind in 4, so great battle. Lincoln Lemieux back into 5th now, but Ischel only with about an 8/10 of a second lead. And you look at Logan behind Oscar Norm, it's only about a half second there. These top 4 sleds, there's only about 2.5, 3 seconds between the top 4 drivers.
Logan getting bogged down a little bit there, trying to get back up to speed as Benham tries to close in on him. There's the gap between them as they run 3rd and 4th, headed down into the Skidoo and Sunoco corners off that inside lane. Benham trying to make a run as Ischel continues to hold off Oscar Norm at the front of the field.
Benham's got a lot of racing and testing with Logan Christian. He used to be an Arctic Cat driver in that. You know, these two guys, they know each other. They're not going to rub each other hard. They're going to race clean. And I'll tell you what, Daniel's going to look for a good move underneath here. Let's see what Logan does. Daniel tries to get a ski underneath, though, and it's not there.
Yeah, Logan was able to block him going off of the corner, and now they'll make another run. And Logan a little bit of a different rhythm there on the outside. And that allows him to get a little space between himself and Venom off the FXR turn.
And if anything, I think Logan may have made up a little ground on Oscar Norm. All the while, again, Ischel not able to run away and hide. He's only got a second on Oscar Norm, and Oscar's got another second on Logan Christian, while Logan's got about 0.8 of a second on Venom. So these top four guys are really putting on quite a show.
5 laps left to run in this pro final here at the U.S. Air Force Snocross National here at Deadwood. Elias Ischel leads from Norman second, Christian, Venom, and Lemieux is your top 5.
That last lap, Ischel able to put a little more distance between he and the other members of this race. Now it's a little over 2 seconds as he's starting to pull away. Now he's got about 2.6 seconds over Oscar Norm. Logan Christian only about 8 to 9 tenths of a second behind Norm. It's a blink of an eye in snowmobile racing, trying to get on that second position on the podium.
Ischel working his way through traffic, putting another lap, I believe, on his teammate, Aki Palaya, as he will ramp off the outside edge of the Amsoil finish line jump and inside preferred lane here coming off the FXR turn. He'll take it back over that Ram triple.
That lap starting to go away. I think this time by they'll get the signal 2 to go after he gets through that U.S. Air Force flyaway. They get ready to go towards the Amsoil finish line. There you're seeing it. 2 to go. 2 to go for your race leader. Now sitting on a 2.2 second lead.
So Ischel working his way back down here into that Skidoo-Sunoco corner. Was able to withstand the pressure from Logan Christian on the restart of this race back on lap number 15. Back to the U.S. Air Force flyaway, and he'll see the white flag here for one more lap to go.
Well, there's great racing all across this field for a lot of the different positions, but Ischel is now 1.2 seconds, so, you know, he got a bit slower there. Oscar Norm able to scrub off a little speed, and Logan Christian still sitting in third. We'll see how this thing ends up.
So Elias Ischel comes through the U.S. Air Force flyaway for the final time, but once again, the Viking rocket flies here at Deadwood. Second spot goes to Oscar Norm, and Logan Christian will get a podium spot finishing in third. Fourth spot goes to Daniel Benham. Lincoln Lemieux rounds out the top 5, followed by Pauline Muller, Whitworth, Palaya, Benatar, Peck, and Jacob Yerk. We'll hear from winner Elias Ischel when we come back with more Amsoil Championship Snocross powered by Ram on the CBS Sports Network.
We're going to be going down. We'll be hearing from your race winner, Elias Ischel, in just a couple of moments here. I want to remind people, another big day of racing here at the Days of 76 Event Center tomorrow. Of course, racing starting early in the morning, about 9 o'clock. Racing all afternoon. We'll have another opening ceremony again tomorrow night at 6 o'clock in the main show tomorrow evening. But great racing all day long. It's supposed to be beautiful out, 40-plus degrees and sunny. We hope to see you back here. And again, remember, if you've been having a little fun, please drive carefully on the way home. We want to make sure that we see you again here tomorrow in Deadwood, South Dakota. Getting ready to go down to Haley here in just a couple of moments.
Shootout is on here in Deadwood as they come charging down the straightaway on the inside. Lincoln Lemieux on the outside. Logan Christian battle for that step-away hole shot. And here comes Elias Ischel to the outside. 3 wide almost as they come across the Amsoil finish line. And Elias Ischel tries to power up along Christian barges ahead of him off the U.S. Air Force flyway. They almost made contact in the air. They split the lanes off the FXR turn. Ischel will grab the lead now.
Now look at Logan. Oh, Logan almost making a move there. And Elias going out, and now they leave some room, and that allows Oscar Norm to move around. Logan Christian.
So Elias Ischel comes through the U.S. Air Force flyway for the final time. But once again, the Viking rocket flies here at Deadwood.
Elias, you said you were taking this lap by lap, day by day, race by race. How was that for a day? A perfect day, in fact.
Yeah, it was a really perfect day. My sled have been working awesome, and I just tried to find those good lines. And it was a crazy race in the final. This track was gnarly, and I tried to stay smart, but yeah, it was difficult out there. And it got red. I got a little bit lead, so a little bit gap, so I could charge from there. But then I got red flag, and yeah, everyone was tight again. Yeah, and just charged from there and got the win. So really happy about it. We really happy about the day and just going 1-1-1, and yeah, just need to thank my whole team.
A job well done. Congrats.